Hello all, welcome to this new video. And in this video, as we are reviewing what's new in 2024 release wave 1, today we'll talk about a new preview feature in Business Central 24 and going forward, which is the inclined pages scripting tool. Now, how Microsoft documentation talks about it is it's used as in they assume that you will be using it for acceptance testing at this moment. So, as per Microsoft, with the page scripting tool, customers and consultants can easily record and replay the user acceptance test directly from your Business Central web client. Now, because it's named as a scripting tool, it's not limited to, let's say, Microsoft extension. So, if you have customizations, if you have ISV extensions, app source apps, the tool will work on every field or every object because it's just the page scripting tool which is based on the web browser. So let's be very clear, this is going to work for every object that you have in your customer environment. In this particular video, we'll do a demo. We'll see how you can use that. We'll see what are the capabilities that are available within the preview, and then I'll be expecting an enhancement, at least in the next version, hopefully. So let's get with it and let's understand it. Okay, so the page scripting tool in Business Central web client allow you to record, as I said, your actions such as opening a page or entering in the data and then replay them. You can also save the recordings that you have done and then use it for future playbacks. An important use case as per Microsoft is to capture and execute user acceptance test, which is also the initial focus for this particular release from Microsoft. So without wasting further time, let's get into the client and start testing this. So once you are on your Business Central 24 environment, on your right corner, utilize this gear icon to access your page scripting menu, which is available as a separate menu, very clearly titled as preview. So let's click on preview. Once you do that, you get this particular window, which is an empty window. Let's quickly navigate what are their options on this particular window. There are some options that are disabled right now, but the only option that is disabled is this, enabled is this. One is to do a new recording, which will allow you to start a new recording session. And the other is an open recording, which allows you to upload a recording that you have saved in the past. Or maybe you as a partner create these recording and then your customers can start utilizing those for test. As in, I'll leave all those scenarios to you because I'm still trying to wrap my mind how you'll be using it. Okay, so let's do a new recording. So as soon as we do new recording, you'll notice that this is blinking, which is recording. Then this is still disabled, but it says rewind to start. And this is previous step. We'll see what that means. This is stop the recording, and then this is going forward, play, and then the next step. Simple, right? So what I'll do is in this particular video, I'll try to record a step of a customer creation, and in that process, we'll also see what features are available in this enhancement. So it's right now recording. I clicked on the customers on my home page. What happened? It saved a step, said navigate to customers. Nice, started recording it, right? So as soon as I'm doing things and as the client is changing, it is also updating that, which is it says page customer was shown. So I can see a customer. Now what I'm going to do or what you can do also is you can surely delete the last step at any point, okay? But you can't delete a prior step because there will be a dependency to the child step, obviously. So anytime if you did something wrong and you want to revert back, just click here on the three dots and you can delete. There are other options, we'll see that. as we go forward. Okay. So the idea that we have is we will start capturing steps that I'm doing. So when this is shown, what I'll do is I'll click on new, and here it got recorded that somebody clicked on the new action, and then automatically, because I have templates available in my database, it populated the template selection. Now at this point, as I choose the template, it'll remember and record that I did something. And then when I hit OK, it'll also record that, and my customer card will pop up now. As you can see, it's happening here at the same moment. Now what I need to do is, let's say I need to put some address for this customer, and I use any random address, right? So I call it as address 01, and it remembers us that I clicked on address 01 and inputted an address value of address 01. But because I hit tab, it stored that I moved my focus from address address field to address 2, which I can delete if I did a mistake. Okay, so we are back where we wanted. Now, because I'm doing this, let's say to be a little bit more generic, I would like to utilize some things. So like, I don't want it to give a name, a static name. There are some options available while you are in the scripting session. You can actually right click on a field and say page scripting, and then you can add the session info detail. Currently, the only session info detail that is available is the user ID. So if you want to utilize this, you can just paste that here and it'll record that the name is inputted from the session.userid. So if you are running it, your user ID will be saved. If I'm running it, my user ID will be saved in the name. Okay. Now, let's see what else is available. Now I would like to copy this value. I would like to use the same value somewhere else. The page scripting by default has a built-in clipboard, which allows me to copy that value. And as soon as I do that, it'll store that here step. That whatever the name is generated, now it's copied into a clipboard, which I can utilize going forward. Now, the other thing that I would like to do is utilize this copied value into, let's say, address 2. So what I can do again here is I can paste, and now I see two options. One, whatever I copied in the previous step or in the scripting session, which is stored in the clipboard, and other is the session info that we saw there. So I just utilize the same info here, which will update when you run it based on your user ID. Okay. Now, what I can also do is I can call on the validations. So, okay, let's say I'm trying to validate this, okay, this field. So what I'll do is I'll right click and say validate this field with the current value is equal to customer card name, which is just showing that there is something on the clipboard, which I don't need. And I'll just say validate this value, current value. Now, I don't know what I want because this is an option field and there will be things or options against it. So what I can do now, which is another good step, another good feature here, that on all these steps that has been recorded, I can actually go in and do properties of it. Now, when I do, it opens the Power FX feature, which is coming from the Power domain, which allows me to do certain limited kind of validation, that the value of this field is equal to 0, which means not blocked, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are other options. So I can choose any of those if needed. I'll keep it as it is. I'm not going to change it, but just to show you that there is a possibility, I am showing this. Okay. Now, while our customers or our consultants are doing certain things, they end up doing some conditional steps. And let me think of a scenario. So I can actually add, okay, not from here. Let's say for country and region, I want a conditional thing to be done if the country is X, right? Country or region code. So I can right click and say here to add conditional step based on this field current value. And I can do anything. I know the available countries in my database. So let's say I'm saying if it is US. Now what you'll notice, two things have happened. Other than all the previous step, this one got a drop down. So that means it's a conditional step at this point. Now what I want to do in this conditional step is I would like to input, let's say, phone number. And I say, okay, input the phone number here. Okay. So only when country and region will be US, the phone number will be inputted with this value. Again, if you want to change it, made some mistake, you can go into the properties and change that value. Okay. So that gives you flexibility. Now there are certain situations where you would like to do a little bit of expression in the fields that you're using because it's just scripting those steps. So let's say I would like to set the home page, and the home page should be something. But if I continue doing anything right now, it'll be added on the condition of where country or region is US. So I need to come out of this loop right now, the condition statement. And to do that, you notice on the top there is an end scope, which will end the scope of this condition, and your next step will not be indented. So I'll do the end scope, and it remembers that this was the scope that I was pointing to. So it kind of closed that loop. Now on my home page, let's say I want to write something. Okay. So here I can again come here and say, okay, paste. Will not make sense. Let's say user ID. Okay, let's do that. User ID. But I want some more flexibility because admin is not the homepage. And I'm just making assumptions here. So what I'm thinking to do here at the properties that I can use the power of the PowerFX language and say, oh, whatever the user ID is before that, add www dot, and then concatenate with the user ID, and then at the end add .com. So you might not see the impact of it right now because this is being saved, but next time when we run it, you will notice that the home page will convert to www.userid.com. That's how it kind of understands it. Now, these are the features that I was able to figure out. Let's see if I missed something else. I don't think so, but let's see. Copy, we talked about it. Paste, we talked about it. Validate, we did block validate. Conditional step, we did on the language. But there is one more thing. In this database, which I'm utilizing, I have customer templates. But that's an optional step. Your A customer may have template, your B customer may not have template. So you would like to handle situations differently at different stages. So where we chose templates is this, the page template, all right? Just after the new. I can actually come here and say, make this as an optional page, which means if it exists, then do other things that are happening on that area and then continue whatever you're doing. So you can actually do conditional lookups, or when lookups are not happening. So when I make this optional, it automatically understands that the context of that page, of the template page that popped up, is only 3 steps. So if I'm running this recording into an environment where there are no templates defined for customer, it'll automatically skip these 3 steps because I made this as conditional. Hopefully that makes sense. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this. How you run this? First you stop the recording. And hopefully this is the thing to stop the recording. So let's stop it. Okay. Let's go back into my context, and the last customer that I have is this 0030. I'll go back to my original page where I started it from, which is navigate customer. And now I can actually say that I want it to be played. So I'll do run from here, and I'll run from here. Okay, so it's doing, I'm not touching my keyboard, everything is happening, and as things will be happening, and I don't know why it is not progressing, it should. Okay, let me see if I can play this. Okay, let's try to play this from here now. Okay, so it selected a template because it existed, and it created a customer. The name is admin because I'm running it. It started assigning values to my field, and as you can see, everything turned green, which means all the steps that I have defined were successfully executed in this particular environment. My homepage, if you notice, now is www.admin.com, and everything has been validated, which I did. Okay, now not just that, now you would like to save it, right? So there are options available here to save this. So you can save a recording. It actually does not save into your environment, it gets downloaded. So I'll have to name this file, let's say 123, save this, it's done. Did I click it twice? I don't think so, but let me see. Yeah, okay. Hopefully this is downloaded. We'll see that in a while. So script completed or downloaded. Now it says 123, and then there is an option to share it by copying the link to put it on Teams or somewhere else, right? I can go into the properties, see what the test recording is, and now let me open up that file for you so that we all can see it together. Okay, so this is opening on my VS Code. So let me populate my VS Code screen. Here it is. Okay. So if you notice, the file is a little bit similar to YAML. The format is YAML. And if you notice the name that I've given, the description of it, where it starts, on which profile, what type of navigations I'm doing, what kind of actions I'm clicking, whatever is happening behind the scene when I click on that, and going forward, whatever I have did is written over here. Now, you know me, I'm a man of making guesses. Okay, so let me try to make a guess. All our DevOps pipeline are also working with YAML files. You can automatically set up pipelines. You can even make automated tests part of your build process. This is a YAML file. Will in future, and don't take my word on it if it happens, but I'm just making a wild guess. Will it happen that while I'm doing my build process, I'll be able to include these YAML files so that once the Docker is created, my extension is deployed, and then these YAML file runs, and if there is an error message, it breaks my build. Just assuming, just thinking loud. Okay, I'm not making any claims that this is going to happen, but I'm just thinking loud because there would be a reason of choosing YAML. They would have chosen JSON, they would have chose XML or anything else. When I listen YAML, the only thing that comes to my mind is DevOps and the pipelines, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. Making a wild guess that this might be something which may turn up into that direction. The page scripting tool is focused on capturing actions that comes from executing the AL code that's there. The tool isn't a generic HTML automation tool. Therefore, it can't capture elements such as control add-in, embedded Power BI or Power Pages application, or anything outside of the Business Central web client experience. So remember this. If you're utilizing this and you're trying to move things around on your control add-ins that you have built in, or the Power BI embedded parts and things like that, those will not be captured by the page scripting feature. Now, the only thing that I did not show you is an error message, but if you would like to see it, let's quickly do that. Let me try doing some improper changes. Okay, so instead of in the phone number, I would say it will be, let's say, ABCD. Okay, which is an invalid step, more or less. And let's try to run this. Navigate to customer is where I want to start, and I hopefully, yeah, set this. Let's click on it. Left my mouse. Automation is running. Template is created. Template is selected. Country is US, and it failed. It did not fail. There was an error, but it kept doing changes which were needed. Okay, it did add the admin thing, but because my input statement was wrong, it said it need to contain letters. You cannot use this. Okay, in the scenario where maybe your control have moved, or things which are not available, this will fail in some cases, and that will be displayed in red, and you'll be able to play back at that point. Now remember this, I don't think Microsoft is saying today that you should be running it on your production environment, because remember, all the tests that we ran right now, maybe 4 or 5, all that data is stored in my database. So utilize this feature or test out this feature onto your sandbox environment if you're a customer. And if you are watching this video, don't try to do it on a production environment at this moment, because all the data that has been generated is actually saved in the database, which you don't want to do it on a production environment. So remember that. We did talk about what it does not support. We did talk about this is preview. We did talk about use file. You can share the file, others can try to use it. And the YAML file that we downloaded, you can even modify it in the file if needed. So that's another good feature. I don't think we have time to kind of test that out, but if you want it, let me know. We'll do another video on it. So now what I want from you, go ahead and try this feature in your Business Central Sandbox environments, and let me know into the comment section, what are the use cases that you think you will be using this feature for? Let's educate. I don't know everything. Hopefully you don't know everything. Let's share this knowledge that, oh, this feature can actually be used in these areas, and make this community stronger. So I'll be waiting to see your comments, how you think you'll be able to utilize this feature, and we'll see what holds into the future when Microsoft makes it out of preview and a full-fledged feature. I'm not going to repeat it. You know the drill. If you like the content, hit the like button. If you think it's shareable, share it on social media. And if you haven't, which I doubt, then subscribe to the channel, because there are more and more videos coming this year. I'll see you next time. Till then, have a great day and keep learning and sharing. Thank you.